I'm thinking reboot.
Nobody wants a reboot.
Hello friends, my name is Stevie Cade and welcome to Film Trigger. Today we're going to review a movie that I had no idea was being made until I saw the trailer land. And then when I saw the trailer land, I was like, oh no, not the Rescue Rangers. Don't give them the Alvin and the Chipmunks treatment, please. Well, they may or may not have done that, but we'll talk about that in a second. But before we do, if you could, hit that thumbs up, that subscribe button, and the little bell ding thing so you get notified every time I upload a new video. I know I sound repetitive when I say that, but guys, liking and subscribing this channel is the only way I'm going to grow, and I grow for you. So if you're watching it, subscribe and like and follow, okay? We could be friends. Without further ado, let's dive into my review for Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers. I absolutely loved this show growing up. It was part of my childhood routine. I'd come home from school, I'd watch Rescue Rangers, DuckTales, Tailspin, Darkwing Duck, another one. God, I love Darkwing Duck. We'll talk more about him a little later. So naturally, I was very protective over this property when I saw that the trailer landed. And, you know, as I said before, I just didn't want it to be Alvin and the Chipmunks all over again, you know, which wasn't a bad movie, but it wasn't for me. Then I saw the trailer, and I'll tell you what, the trailer gave me hope. It's almost breaking the fourth wall in the sense that they're actors who shot a show, Chip 'n Dale, and now that show's over. Where do they live in this world now? As a struggling actor, or did they move on to something else? Where are the Rescue Rangers today?
And many more seasons of the Rescue Rangers.
It could all come crashing down.
Which is not a terribly creative storyline, but you know what? Maybe it's just enough to hold on. Let's dive into what I like about this movie. Okay, I may have been a little quiet up until now, but I have to say I absolutely loved this film. From beginning to end, this movie was fantastic. It was everything I wanted it to be, and more. And that's because this is a nutty story about estranged friends coming back together to help find their friend Monterey Jack. Remember Monterey Jack? Well, he has been kidnapped and sold to the bootleg market of cartoon movies. And Chip and Dale need to team up once again after many years to help save their friend. Sounds nuts, right? Because it is. It's a fucking nutty movie. And it was so much fun for so many different reasons. Because this movie was made for the fans and also made to introduce the Rescue Rangers to a new audience. Prime example is my son, who saw this before I did and actually gave his first thoughts on our live stream last night, which gave me hope. He has no idea about the Rescue Rangers. He didn't know who the hell they were, but he actually liked the movie.
I watched Chip 'n Dale last night.
Oh, no, I'm about to go watch it right now.
I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to spoil
it.
anything. That had no right to be as good as it was. Like, that movie is actually good.
So this movie did a great job setting up for the fan service and introducing to a new audience. They use this wacky cartoon humor that, like, it's pretty much like Roger Rabbit, but like done right. Like it wasn't a blatant copy and paste, but it had that adult-driven humor, but it's just more updated for modern times and how animation works today and all this fun stuff. But yeah, it was just a little bit more adult-driven than I expected. Now, that's not to say it's, you know, risque or anything like that. It's very subtle, just the way you like your adult humor in family-friendly movies. Everything's in satire and kind of making fun of itself, but it doesn't get exhausting, and I genuinely belly laughed quite a few times in this movie, which is not something I expected to do. As a matter of fact, this movie amazingly captured my attention like the whole time. I am guilty as charged. I am one of those people, if I'm sitting at home watching a movie, I'll find myself on my phone, you know, flipping every now and again, and then I'll go back to the movie. I didn't pick up my phone once, not during this movie. I think just the constant barrage of nostalgia hits and just how funny the movie was just captured my attention through and through. See, what this movie does is it treats cartoons like actors, like regular actors who are just trying to keep themselves in the limelight, keep themselves known, keep themselves fit, looking for that second wind in their career, just making sure that they're relevant, you know, like by going to like Comic-Cons or getting 3D surgery so they look more updated.
You look different.
Hey, it's no secret I had the CGI surgery done.
Which is obviously making fun of movies like Smurfs, Alvin and the Chipmunks, and such. But the movie's not afraid to go a little bit darker. As I said, there's those subtle hints of adult humor. If you were a fan of Rescue Rangers back in the day, remember Monterey Jack, of course, like their main dude, right? And remember how he used to react when he loved cheese? Like he would smell cheese and it would hypnotize him? Well, that became an addiction. He's addicted to cheese and goes down the wrong path, which eventually puts him in the situation that we find him in this movie.
Consumed by temptation.
My love of cheese got the best of me. I just love it so much.
More, please. More, please.
It's outrageous. It's so real. Like, it's almost hard to laugh at because of the satire that they're playing off here about drug addiction, but at the same time, it's a genuine way for this movie to go, like especially just using that characteristic that we know of Monterey Jack and turning it into this adult world humor. Maybe it was always there. Maybe it was there in the cartoons. I just 8-year-old me never noticed. But either way, this movie did a great job honing in on those. This film is fearless and definitely targeted for me. See, even though Rescue Rangers, like, there's kids like me who grew up to be adults, that's how life works, knew the Rescue Rangers, love the Rescue Rangers, but there's no like huge fan base for the Rescue Rangers. So this movie has that fearless mentality where they have nothing to lose. Like if this movie sucked, it would just go under the radar and no one would, that would be it. There wouldn't be like a huge outrage about it. If it's successful, then you just rebooted not only a cartoon series, but an entire era of cartoons. That's what this movie sets up. That potential to get those 90s cartoon reboots in a lightly adult-driven style. And my God, the cartoon cameos they're everywhere. Number one, there's so many cartoon cameos. Like, every frame is filled, like, from wall to wall with cartoon cameos. It would take years to actually cipher through and pick out all the little Easter eggs, all the little cameos that are in this movie. Like, there were some that I don't know what they were, but I saw them and, like, it just tickled my nostalgia bone. I'm like, I know this. It's deep-seated in my brain somewhere, but I don't know what it is. Like, this movie's chock full of that. Again, it's not exhausting. It's entertaining. At least for me. It's just wildly appropriate for a man-child like me. It really freaking is. And the fact that my son loved it, it just tells you this movie is multi-generational entertaining. As I said before, the story is basic, but the movie kind of makes fun of that. It pokes fun at itself. It's not afraid to do that, which honestly makes you realize, okay, this is a basic story, but they know it's a basic story. They make fun of it. They tell you it's a basic story constantly throughout the movie. And that just makes it more fun. Like, I can't really pick it apart for having a basic story when it makes fun of itself for having a basic story. But this film is genuinely fun. John Maloney and Andy Samberg, who played Chip and Dale, wonderful comedic timing, very genuine. And then Eric Bana playing Monterey Jack was freaking just, it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. If you need an Australian voiceover, Eric Bana is the one to go to, apparently. And this movie makes fun of many different variations of animation. Cartoon versus CGI. It even pokes fun at, like, the evolution of CG animation. One specific Viking character played by Seth Rogen. And this Viking character is supposed to represent, like, that CGI where things looked real but still kind of dead inside. They call them Polar Express eyes.
Talking to us?
Obviously.
But it looks like you're talking to that window.
It actually looks like I'm looking right at you. Look at my eyes, looking right at your eyes.
Yeah.
Absolutely hilarious. And Seth Rogen, always a big hit when it comes to voiceovers, and they even make fun of that in this movie. Your main antagonist is Peter Pan. Peter Pan, the Lost Boy. He grew up, and he ended up being a bad guy. Damn it. You were the best of us. But yes, Peter Pan is Big Pete. He's the one that collects all the popular cartoon characters, gives them a makeover to get rid of their copyright signature look, and then resells them as bootleg versions of themselves for bootleg movies that they used to star in. It's an absolutely beautifully destructive concept, and I'm here for it. I love every moment of this movie. Well, not every moment. We'll dive into that here in just a second. But the adventure is exciting. The suspense is definitely there. It's not too suspenseful, but it's enough. It's enough to keep you close to the edge of your seat sometimes. But another thing this movie did was make me want more. It makes me want to see more of this world. And not even just Chip and Dale. Like, sure, we can get a sequel with them, but all the other opportunities that this movie opened to kind of be Disney's Space Jam, if you will. But better, it laid the ground to make a movie like this with other characters from the 90s properties. And I'm looking at you, Darkwing Duck. I'm looking at you. But also like Goof Troop, Tailspin. Again, this is Disney's Space Jam, but it's done way better in every way possible. But this movie's not perfect, so let's talk about some things I'm on the fence about when it comes to this film. And there's really only one thing I'm on the fence about, to be honest with you, and that's their human friend, Ellie. Like, her character has a pivotal role in this movie, but they didn't really give Ellie much to do. She's just kind of there to be you. Like, she's the you in this movie, but they didn't give you much to do. She was a fan of the Rescue Rangers as a kid, and she wants to help them out, and she's joining them on this adventure, but as I said, they didn't give her enough to do. So she's just kind of there and transporting. She transports them from A to B, or does this to help them down the road here, but the character doesn't really have any development or anything like that. Basically, she was mostly there for convenient plot points to help the Rangers move the story along. And the one thing that I don't like about this movie, it has to be the climactic ending, because it was just a little overdone and underwhelming. The movie obviously built up to this moment. It put so much into the bad guy, the boss battle, that it just seemed a little convoluted, a little too much going on, and it became a little predictable what was about to happen, keeping pace with the rest of the movie. The rest of the movie was up here. That final battle was just down here. It was the only part of the movie where I thought about picking up my phone. So yeah, the movie wraps up a little weak when it comes to that final boss battle, but as soon as that boss battle's actually over, it jumps right back into being entertaining for like the last few minutes of the movie. Overall, this is a perfect movie for the entire family. The parents will enjoy the nostalgia and slightly mature humor, while the kids bask in the ocean of recognizable cartoon cameos that this movie brings. And again, it's just a fun adventure. I would love to see more movies from this world. And yeah, for all these reasons, I'm giving this movie an A+.
That was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great!
There you have it, guys. There's my review for Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, a movie that I honestly didn't expect I was going to love as much as I do, but I'm really excited about it. Matter of fact, I can't wait to watch this with Seth, actually diving into all the cameos that are in this movie, all the Easter eggs and subtle nuances. There's just so many that it could be a fun game. So please sit down with the family and watch this, okay? Like, I mean it. Sit down with the family and watch the movie now. Sorry, got a little intense there. If you've seen this movie, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Maybe you liked it, maybe you hated it, maybe this movie just doesn't work for you, and if it doesn't, I would like to know why. So please let me know in the comments below, but this is a spoiler-free review, so keep the spoilers at bay for now. Maybe we'll do a live spoiler review if you guys are interested in that. Let me know that in the comments below as well. But also, be sure to check out some more of my videos, and as always, stay trigger happy, my friends. Peace.
Rescue Rangers 2.0.